Hi guys, it's Totoro here, bringing you a new series of our Mesos journey. A bit about myself, I played Maplestory for 2 years in 2004 to 2006, then played from 2010 till now, but on and off on the Bera server. So the best thing about Maplestory for me is making Mesos and being able to find creative ways to get richer. I've never merged before, and the way I make Mesos is similar to old Maplestory players such as Drexel and Timza, and I'll link their channels below this video for those who are interested. I've always loved watching Maplestory videos on YouTube, but I think most videos these days are people who are already funded and are bossing crazy endgame bosses, but not many videos or series that are very beginner friendly. So I'm kind of here to bridge that gap. This series was inspired by watching Tim's Mesos journey, which was 5 years ago. But the meta of this game has changed so much in the past half a year, and especially Mesos is worth so much more than it was 5 years ago. So I'm kind of hoping to replicate that series, but in the current meta of the game. The aim of this series is to get 30 bill Mesos, which in Bera is roughly around $700 USD, but also to have fun and showing beginners how to fund themselves. For the more experienced viewers, please feel free to comment things that you think I should emphasize more, as there's probably a lot of content that I'm not familiar with. The rules of this series are simple. I start with a brand new account, and whenever I play, I record. I don't accept donations. But there's one rule that I want you guys to decide for me. Should I allow myself to kitchen myself on a second computer, or should I not? I think it might be more beginner friendly to not, but let me know in the comments what you think. But all in all, hope you have fun and join me in this journey to reach 30 bill Mesos. Thank you. So I wasn't too sure about what I should do while my clips are rolling out. Maybe in the future episodes I might just go through some Q&A questions that people comment in my video, or talk about some things in Maple. Let me know what you guys think and I'll consider it. So in this video, making mesos early on, this was quite a challenge. Mostly I was just picking up drops with my pets and NPCing them, and most of from time to time you'll see me going through bounty tunnels, which are the yellow portals in the maps, to get free EXP and free items. Because I wasn't really one-shotting any of these mobs, those free EXPs really did help in the long run, and you'll see me just get like a whole level or two just from those, and yeah, those are really free. Yeah, but other than that, this whole video, it's just me just blandly grinding through. This is the first time I've ever played on a brand new account, so it took ages to get to level 100. It took me like 3 hours, and it wasn't too interesting, but I guess this whole experience was pretty fun. So if you see there, I just have 20k Mesos. Yeah, not much as I said. And yeah, I'm probably just going to be commentating on the clips while talking about random stuff in the middle as well. And if you notice in this video, I went to the auction house a few times to check up on the prices for certain items. It's always important to do that and understand the market in order to really find out ways to make Mesos, I guess. Because in the end, you want to find a consistent way to make Mesos that's not super widely known, which requires creativity. Pets are an important investment. I got mine free from the Terror Burning event, so make sure to make use of that, and later on, I'll probably buy a cheaper pet from the auction house with a new NX system for pets. And if you see later on, I saw that in the auction house that marjoram and mandarin seeds are worth a few hundred Ks, and given that I have no mesos at all, that's what I thought I would exploit early on. But unfortunately, I can't buy anything or sell anything on this account until 3 days have passed since its creation. I'm playing free to play on this account, and a lot of people have asked me why don't I just play Reboot, but Reboot is what I feel like is like a grind story game. It's not really what I find fun in Maplestory. I think like just problem solving and being able to make mesos and getting richer is something that makes me really interested in playing, and that's what's allowed me to play all these years. And the meta of the game has changed so much, and up to recently I've exploited EXP pots, which have netted me about 20 mil profit per pot, and that would allow me to get a few bills per week, and I think I've made easily over 50 bill over the period of time that I abused it. Another thing that I used to do was make Golux mule accounts while increasing the level of my legion, and that would also net me around 7 bill per character. But unfortunately, both of these methods are no longer viable due to the recent changes, so I have to think of something new. And if you see me here, I'm just waiting for the MVP buff that comes up from people from time to time. And MVP buffs are just a great way to level up, so make sure you don't miss out on the MVP buffs. And a lot of people will upload, will post those events on the chat, so make sure to keep your eyes out on the world chat. In terms of like class, I decided to play Buck because that's honestly something I've always wanted to play, but I couldn't really be bothered to try. And I think this will be a great series to try a class I've always wanted to play and gear up a bit while showing people how I do it. And back in the days, Bucks had Super Saiyan mode, which really made me want to play it then, but when I first created my Buck, Nexon got rid of it for a few years, and it recently came back in the 5th job, so I'm excited to try it. It looks really cool. Because it's my first video today, I did think of a topic to talk about, and that's probably going to be the start of my Maplestory journey. Start of my Maplestory and Mesos journey, actually. So I first started with my Corsair in 2012, and I got to level 180 through Von Leon, but I had no Mesos. The first thing I did was scroll 10 attack work gloves, and somehow I calculated back then that through my odds, my expected value of creating 10 attack work gloves was always worth it. Oh, if you notice here, I somehow get 1 mil Mesos from killing this boss. If you complete the storyline, I think you just automatically get 1 mil, so make sure you take advantage of that if you haven't played before. So the biggest way I make Mesos is through exploitation and anticipation of events, and that's through keeping up to date with the KMS events. And yeah, just hoarding items that I know will be high in demand when they first get implemented. So I can give you guys 2 examples here. In 2013, when Nightwalkers got revamped through the Cygnus patch, I anticipated that through keeping up with the KMS, and I hoarded like 30 Balanced Furies, which I created by farming the black crystals from the Evolution Lab. I cashed out about 20 bill at the end of that patch, and I kept going through the Balanced Furies and selling those and making a market. I probably made around 100 bill off those. The very other big one was also the Enjoyable Winters, and I participated twice in this event. So the first time was in 2016, and I bought like 3,000. Oh no, I farmed around 3,000 of the Enjoyable Winters, and I made around 60 bill over the next year after that. The other time that I abused it was also in 2018, and I bought and I farmed 3,300, like just a bit more than 3,000, and I spent about 30 bill in total back then for that investment, and I still have those right now, and I can easily say that they're clearly worth over $700 in Bera right now. And with the rates being 10 times higher than back then, I could probably say that I've made around 300 bill profit in the rates that they were in 2018. So it just kind of shows how you can just massively profit from these events and become rich. And just one more concept to talk about is supply and demand. Supply and demand is something that really defines markets, and it's really important to know the basic economics of this. The meta of the game is always changing through events that Nexon brings out, so it's always important to keep up to it. So, for example, think about what happens when Spell Trace Fever, 5, 10, 15 Star Force event, and the DMT comes, and think about what happens to supply and demand for certain items. For example, hoarding endgame gear before 5, 10, 15 Star Force event is probably a wise thing to do, because during that event, a lot of those gears would boom, and people need to buy more during those events, because 5, 10, 15 is easily the best time to Star Force when it comes to Star Forcing. And it only comes every few months, so a lot of people will be looking for these endgame gears to, Star Force in those events. So making sure to understand what you expect will happen and how it happens is something that's going to just come up through natural experience in this game. And yeah, it's just, I guess there's not much to really talk about other than that. If you understand that, this game is pretty simple. So as you have observed in this, I'm not really doing too much. I'm really just grinding through my character and getting my pet to loot everything. And I think right now I'm at around 2 million Mesos, and I go up to, oh yeah, you notice here that I'm going through my inabilities. I'm trying to look for item drop on my inability, and you notice in the end that I get 10% item drop and 4% Mesos, which I think was pretty good for me. So I just decided to settle with that, and I have around 2.7 mil Mesos now. And yeah, so when I got to level 90, I was going to try and solo Zakum, because Zakum is the best way to get to level 110 straight from level 90. But unfortunately, this character was way too weak. So if you notice, I just constantly die because I don't really know the mechanics of this character, and yeah, it was like pretty hard because the arms was just not dying. So in the end, I decided to sack that, and I kept going back at the grind. And again, you'll see me flicking through prices, trying to figure out the prices, looking at things to make Mesos off. And unfortunately, as I said, I have to wait 3 days until I can sell them. So until then, I'll be hoarding all the items that I get in my inventory. But I did get a rose clipping, which I'm hoping to sell later on. And I'll go through exactly what I sell and stuff like that as well. So yeah, 2 questions to wrap up the commentary, I guess, with this video is, what do you guys think I should do? Should I allow myself to use Kana on myself on a second computer, or should I not? And also, what should I talk about in between these videos? I don't really have any preferences. I think I can talk about some Maplestory experiences, some stuff that I remember that's happened to me during the course of this game, like funny moments, moments that I feel accomplished, etc, etc. Or otherwise, I can just go through some Q&A questions that people have presented here. So please do let me know. And yeah, other than that, I'll just continue rolling on this clip with the music. Thank you.